For all of my eldest daughters out there, can I ask you guys something? How are you? How are you doing? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you feeling alright? Are you making sure that you're not falling into total despair? I just wanted to know because I've been reflecting on the last couple of years in my life and how I've been, and it has made me realize some things about being the eldest daughter, especially being one to immigrant parents. There's that added layer of just Let's start with the immense pressure put on us, either by ourselves, our parents, or a mix of both. From ourselves, we feel like we have to be the best, be a good role model for our younger siblings, and be the person our parents can count on. When it comes to pressure from our parents, there's a range, but it could be making sure to always get good grades, get into a good university, study something that will get you a good job, find a way to retire your parents. In a way, we feel indebted to them, even though they've never really asked us that. Maybe some have, but not all. I believe the ratio of pressure from yourself to parents vary from person to person, but speaking from personal experience, a majority of the pressure came from myself. But I would be lying if I said that the pressure didn't stem from my parents' expectations. In the beginning, they had high expectations, but as time passed, the pressure lessened. But because I had that foundation of always having to be the best, it always stuck to me, where I expect the best from myself. However, I have gone to the extreme ends where it has been to my detriment. For example, there were times where I would be scared to go to school because I didn't believe I was prepared for a quiz, even though I've studied for hours on end, and I still thought that I would fail. Or I would cry myself to sleep because of this huge pressure, and I would think that I was the worst person ever. I wasn't smart like the other girls. I wasn't capable. I made dumb mistakes. I was stupid. So many negative thoughts, all because of this pressure that was built up and never healthily resolved. But, little side note, I don't have that unhealthy pressure anymore. I was able to get over it in my last year of high school, and I was able to properly deal with it throughout college. There may be some things here and there, but I believe 90% of it has been resolved, alhamdulillah. So, moving on. Moving on to feeling guilty. Now, this is just... It's crazy how you can feel guilty for the littlest of things. It can range from feeling guilty for not saying yes to helping your siblings or parents because you have too much to do, or saying that you'll do it later. You can feel guilty for wanting to follow your dreams even if it's not what your parents want. Feeling guilty for wanting to move away from family. Feeling guilty for not taking advantage of current opportunities because of how much mom and dad sacrificed. Honestly, the guilt gets so overwhelming sometimes that I wonder, who exactly am I living for? Am I living for myself, or am I living for my parents? Am I living so that I can make their dreams come true because they weren't able to fulfill theirs? Now, the cherry on top is the emotional load. Yay! If the guilt hasn't destroyed you yet, this will. I mean, where do I even begin? You are the go-to person for everything. If something breaks, homework help, translating for parents, being the peacemaker between siblings, taking care of the younger siblings for food, homework, bath, anything, their welfare, knowing how to read a room, diffuse a situation, making sure that everyone is doing well. We feel like it's our job to fix things because that was the role we've been assigned for as long as we can remember. We're told that we are reliable, but that's because we know what happens when things don't go as planned. Chaos ensues, people get mad, parents get upset, and things go up in flames. What we want to do is minimize anger and fighting as much as possible, and that just ends up with us dealing with a huge, huge amount of the burden. With all this being said, I want to directly talk to the oldest daughter. When it comes to the pressure, trust me, I understand. It's honestly so overwhelming that it gets suffocating. My advice is that, honestly, I feel like it gets better with time. I know that's honestly kind of the worst advice ever, but it really does. In my experience, the negative pressure built up to a point where I realized that it's not worth it. I was hating myself so much for not living up to these unrealistic expectations that I genuinely got burnt out, and my brain just said, screw it, F it. to hell with it. Do I need to hate myself to the point of low self-esteem? I hated feeling this way. I hated having to go to bed crying. There are some journal entries where I see the anger and sadness and hatred that I felt towards myself. So the only thing I could do was change my mindset. I slowly started to change my mindset, and I had talks with my parents. They've become a lot less strict with my younger siblings, and I'm so happy. But there's always that lingering feeling of, why did I have to go through it? You guys were able to deal with the younger ones better than you guys dealt with me. That feeling kind of just sticks with you. But we've grown and moved on, alhamdulillah. My parents, they've understood and they've grown and they've improved their way of parenting, I guess. In a way, I can't blame them. When they had me, I was their first child, so they weren't going to be perfect. All they wanted was for me to end up being the best version of myself. And I mean, we all make mistakes, no one's perfect. And it's not like I have any hatred towards my parents. They've honestly been the best parents ever. They've been learning, and so have I. To the eldest daughter, you must change your mindset. It's different for each person. Maybe you have to be burnt out to get to that point, or maybe you'll figure it out on a random Wednesday. But if it's self-inflicted pressure, you need to change how you view yourself and give yourself the love you never thought you deserved. If it's from parents, this might be hard, but you have to have a heart-to-heart talk with them. I know there's this thing where with immigrant parents, it's kind of like it's hard to talk with them. And the thing is, I don't know where it comes from. It's almost like we've never really said I love you until a lot later on, until I guess the child initiated it. But I mean, the parents also initiate it. It's weird. It's this weird thing. It's like, I love you is kind of a weird thing to say, like, oh, what do you mean? But like, you do love them and they love you, but it's through other ways. It's never explicitly stated. That's what I've heard from many people. Even saying to my siblings sometimes, saying I love you is a little weird. But we're diverting from the main topic here. You need to have a heart-to-heart talk with your parents. Tell them how you've been feeling and what it's been doing to you, what all this pressure has been doing to you. And I really do pray that things go well. When it comes to feeling guilty, honestly, I'm still working on it. But I've learned to start with small things, like telling my parents I can't help them at the moment because I'm busy or I'm tired, and instead tell them to go to one of my younger siblings who can help, especially if I know that they can do what they're asking. If it's absolutely necessary, then I'll help, but if not, then someone else can help, or I'll do when I'm not as busy or when I'm not as tired. I haven't gotten to the bigger things like wanting to move away from family because, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to, or wanting to follow my dreams because I'm still figuring out my dreams. Let's be so for real. But my advice would be to show your parents that you have a plan in place, because from what I understand about parents, all they want is for you to live a good, safe, happy life. They don't want you to struggle as much as they did. They're worried about your well-being and want to protect you from all the bad things in the world. But if you show them your plan, positive results, and how things will work out, I do believe that they will agree with you and you will feel a lot less guilty. Advice I heard from other eldest daughters is to just do it. Better to ask for forgiveness instead of permission type of thing. I don't really follow this advice because I don't want to upset my parents, but it works for some people, so do with that information what you will. And lastly, with the emotional load, honestly, since I've had this load for so long, it feels like second nature. But recently, since my siblings have gotten a lot older and they have sense now, some of the load I've been carrying has been passed on to them, in the sense that some of my responsibilities are now their responsibility instead. And it's been great because now I understand that I don't have to do it alone. I have people around me that can help. Sadly, with this advice, I did have to wait a couple of years, but people do say that good things come to those who wait, right? And with that, we have now come to the end of the video. I hope I could explain older sister syndrome to some extent and provide helpful advice to my fellow eldest daughters out there. And if you have any advice, please put them in the comments. Help your fellow sisters out. I just want to let you know that I know it's hard, and most days you're going to wish you're an only child. Lord knows how many times I've prayed. but trust me when I say you were built for this. You will get through it, and you will be a lot stronger than you could have ever imagined. I'm cheering you on. You got this!